Hello and welcome back to Baby We Eat. Today we are making macaroni and cheese. Now in my previous video, I made a short video on how I make my macaroni and cheese. A lot of people had questions on did I use eggs and how much eggs did I use and everything. And in my first video, when I was showing the ingredients, I did show 1 egg, but I did not use it. But in this video, I am going to be using eggs. In this video, I showed 3, but I only used 2 eggs before anybody asks. This is 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to boil the whole box of elbow noodles, but I'm not going to use the whole box. A cup left that I did not use. This is a cup of heavy cream, but I end up using another half of cup. And I used a half of each of my cheeses, which is like a cup each. I used a half a cup of my Colby and a half a cup of my mozzarella, but I did use that whole block for my medium cheese. So here are my cheeses shredded up. We have the Colby, we have the mozzarella, and we have the medium cheddar cheese. Here I'm adding my stick of butter. This video is going to be lengthy. I'm not cutting anything out. I'm going to show you everything step by step that I did to achieve my cheesy, creamy cheese, so no one has questions. So here is my butter. Now here I'm going to add my flour. And I'm mixing it in little by little. Here I'm adding in some salt. And then I'm just mixing. Now I'm adding in my canned milk. I'm using a whole can of carnation milk. Now I'm adding in some garlic powder. And here I'm adding in my heavy whipping cream. And I'm just going to mix that because what's happening, the flour and the butter is starting to thicken up. And here I'm realizing that it's a little bit too thick for me. So I'm adding in some more heavy whipping cream. I added a little bit more salt. Here I'm adding in some Tony's Cajun seasoning. You can season your macaroni and cheese how you want to season it. I'm adding some black pepper, just a little bit. This is chicken bouillon. Here I'm adding in some paprika. And then to get this yellow color, I added a little bit of Sazon because I was out of complete seasoning. Here I'm adding in my cheeses, and I'm just mixing those in. At this point, it's up to you how much cheese you want to add to your sauce. This mixture that you're mixing in makes your macaroni and cheese creamy. You want it to be a little loose. You don't want it to be too stiff, because if it's too stiff, then your macaroni and cheese is not creamy. You're going to have a dry macaroni. I use about half of my shredded cheeses into my roux. Now here I'm adding my macaroni into my baking dish, which I believe this is 11 by 17. And here's where I'm going to add my whisk eggs in. I used 2 eggs, not 3. the macaroni. I'm just going to mix the macaroni and the eggs in together. Now here I'm adding in my cheese. I'm going to add it in little by little to see how I like it. I like a creamy macaroni and cheese. Now here I'm going to add some shredded cheese, and that's what gives it the pull when you add in your shredded cheese. I do not use pre-packaged shredded cheese for my macaroni and cheese. I have never, and I never will. So I'm adding in my shredded cheese, and I'm just going to mix that up. Then I'm adding in some more cheese sauce. So that is my macaroni and cheese. You can see how creamy it is. Here, I'm adding the rest of the cheddar cheese on the top, which is a half of a block of 1 pound. Half of 1 pound block. And that's it. I'm going to put it in my oven at 350 degrees. I'm adding some paprika to the top of it. And this is the results. We have made baked macaroni and cheese. You can see how creamy it is. I added a few clips in where you can see the cheese pull. This is how one of the other ways that I make my macaroni and cheese. I make my macaroni and cheese several ways. You can see how creamy it is. Look how creamy it is. I'll give you a close-up right here. Creamy. Cheese pull. Yummy. Very yummy, yummy, yummy. We have made macaroni and cheese. I want to thank you for watching Baby We Eats. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.